Resident Evil has its highs. Resident Evil has its lows. Resident Evil 6, anyone? Just me? No? Okay. But Resident Evil 4 has held a special place in my heart ever since the days of being a child. I wouldn't say child, I think I was out of high school at that time. But playing Resident Evil on GameCube, I fell in love with Resident Evil 4. It was by far my favorite Resident Evil, and it's what got me into the series. Sure, I played Resident Evil 1 on PS1 and Resident Evil 3, but Resident Evil 4 was the first one that really grasped me and made me fall in love with the series. So, how well does a remake hold up? Well, let's find out. This is Chris with Platinum Reviews, and today we have the newest review for Resident Evil 4 Remake on PlayStation 5. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more reviews, walkthroughs, and random shit that my ADHD brain can put out. So, let's jump into the review for Resident Evil 4. Now, assuming that you've never played Resident Evil 4, I'm going to not really talk about the story too much. I don't want to spoil it for you. So what I will say is that in Resident Evil 4, you play as Leon Kennedy, as he is tasked with rescuing the president's daughter. That's all I'm going to say. What? So nice of me. I will say, though, however, the story is amazing. I really liked the story in Resident Evil 4, and again, I might be biased because it's my favorite Resident Evil, but it just holds up really well. It's paced out really well. There's no moments that's slow or just feels unneeded. Like in Village, there were a few areas where I was like, didn't really need to do this, or it felt like it was rushed compared to other areas. You don't get that in Resident Evil 4. It just feels really well spaced out, and everything feels authentic and real. I love the story in Resident Evil 4. It just holds up really well years and years later. Now, if you have not played Resident Evil 4, but you've seen some gameplay on it, you might have noticed a few things that are different compared to like Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 7 and 8 are first-person survival horror type games. Resident Evil 4 is a third-person, more action-oriented type Resident Evil. And some of the core components with that is you're not as worried about jump scares or, inventory management. Yeah, you still have to worry about inventory management here and there. And there are a couple of jump scares, but it's not as bad as 7 or 8. Also, there are a few things that they changed. In Resident Evil 4, originally, there were some quick time events. This one, you just have to press circle to evade here and there, if somebody goes to attack. I wouldn't really consider that a quick time event. I want to say in the original, you actually had to, tap X or the A button to run from boulders and stuff like that. So they did change a few things compared to the original. Now, my only two gripes with the game are that I think the enemy AI is just, oh gosh, it's non-existent. It doesn't exist. I don't know any other way to put it. I had times where enemies would be pointing at me like, I'm gonna get you, and then they never got me. They would just be standing there. They would have their crossbows pointing at me and just never shoot. They would light a stick of dynamite and just hold it in their hand until it blew up, or they would throw it at a wall and it would bounce off the wall and hit themselves and kill them. So I was like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing, I guess. Also, all the voice acting was done really well. However, I felt like Ada Wong's performance was just lacking emotion. When she was on screen, it just felt like she was there, just like a side character with no purpose. So it was like her character missed any sort of depth, which was kind of disappointing. But other than that, everything else was done very well. Now, graphically, the game looks great. It's a remake of an old PS2 GameCube game, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I was going back through re-watching gameplay from the old GameCube one, and I was like, man, they just really did such a great job with it. There were a few textures on walls and stuff like that just looked undone. But other than that, I mean, the game just looks absolutely fantastic. And, I was really glad that we got a faithful remake for a game that I really loved. Resident Evil 4 Remake is available right now. You can pick it up today. And I definitely suggest doing it. It's a great time. It definitely held up very well. And it's a very faithful remake of a classic game. Resident Evil 4 Remake, I would give a 9 out of 10. Like I said, I didn't really have a lot of gripes, minus enemy AIs and the voice acting performance. I thought the game was absolutely stellar, and it's definitely worth a buy. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll definitely try and answer them the best I can. If you are looking for the platinum, it's going to take a few playthroughs. I finished one playthrough right now, but I figure I would just knock out the review now because the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters are coming out, and I'm not going to have a life for a while. So I figured, best to just do the review now. If you are going for the platinum, though, it is going to take multiple playthroughs, probably about 3 or 4, and if you're wanting to do it easily, I'd probably say about 6 playthroughs in total. Definitely it's going to be a fun one, but it'll probably take me a little bit to get the platinum. If you guys have any questions about the game, like I said, let me know in the comments down below. Any questions about any of the trophies, I'll try and answer them the best I can. Like I said, I don't currently have the platinum, but I can definitely try and help you out if you do have any questions. This has been Chris with Platinum Reviews. Thank you for watching, and as always, keep getting those trophies. I'll catch y'all in the next video.
Such a fool, Mr. Kennedy. To have been bestowed with Lord Sadler's...
You talk too much.
Failed!
You vulgar, utterly